Welcome to a deep dive. If you, like so many of us, are struggling with just the relentless information overload, the anxiety of endless choices, or even a creeping crisis of meaning, our sources today suggest the ultimate ancient GPS is just 7 verses long.
It's incredible, isn't it? We are launching a deep dive into Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening. Our material calls it the al-Kitab, the mother of the book.
The mother of the book.
Yeah, a concise 7-verse roadmap for the human spirit. And it's presented here not just as a ritual prayer, but as a complete Verulush manifesto.
An existence manifesto.
Exactly, something that defines who you are, what the universe is, and crucially, how to navigate between them.
So our mission today, really, is to take this text that, it's so familiar to so many.
Absolutely. For many, it's just recited by rote.
And we want to transform it into a dynamic, practical guide. We want to unlock the linguistic, the structural, the psychological genius of Fatiha to help you find that elusive, well-balanced life.
The Surah Al-Mustaqim.
Yes, exactly.
And this dive is truly comprehensive. We're moving from the etymology and grammar of individual words all the way to the emotional resonance and even the psychological profile of the ideal human being.
The person who can thrive in any era.
The very same. So let's start right at the beginning with that sacred declaration that opens the entire conversation.
Okay, let's unpack the first line. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's a declaration that sets the tone for everything that follows. Our sources treat this as so much more than just a ceremonial phrase.
Oh, absolutely, because it's really a total shift of ownership. It's a statement of trust. It connects the action you're about to take, whether it's starting a project, a journey, or even just a thought, to the absolute source of power and meaning.
And it immediately introduces these 2 layers of mercy.
Yes, 2 distinct but complementary layers, both rooted in this idea of nurturing love.
We have Rahman and Rahim. They sound similar, but our sources really stress that the difference is foundational to understanding the whole universe.
It is. It really is. Think of it this way. Rahman is the universal, overflowing, unconditional love. It's the basis of existence itself.
So, like gravity.
Or the sun.
Exactly. It's the gravity that holds the galaxy together, the oxygen in the air, the sun that shines on everyone, regardless of what they believe. It's the sheer boundless generosity that provides the foundation for life.
So it's this universal, inescapable fact of benevolence. And how does Rahim differ from that?
Rahim is more specific. It's a continuous and responsive mercy. It's directed, often toward those who strive and believe. If Rahman is the universal light switch that turns on the universe, then Rahim is the specific ongoing care package, the continuous support you get for the effort you put in, particularly promising reward in the afterlife.
I see. So the key takeaway here is that the universe is built on this huge, multi-layered love, not on cold chaos or indifference.
Precisely. It sets a profoundly hopeful stage. If you know the universe's foundation is unconditional love, that changes everything. That does change everything. Okay, moving to the second verse. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. This brings in hamd, praise, and the term Rab.
Right, and hamd is defined as conscious adoration, a recognition of inherent perfection. It's much deeper than mere gratitude or shukr.
What's the difference there?
Shukr is thankfulness for a specific favor. Say, you get a gift or a promotion. Hamd is acknowledging the Creator's perfection regardless of your personal circumstances. It's praise for existence itself, even when you're struggling.
So it's acknowledging the sheer, perfect complexity of the artistry, even if you're currently dissatisfied with your own small corner of the canvas.
That's a perfect way to put it. And the recipient of this universal praise is the Rab. This is a critical semantic distinction.
How so?
If God were merely the creator, the text might have used the word halak. But Rab implies so much more. The root suggests an active nurturer, an educator, a developer, a manager.
The sources call this ilahi pedagogy.
Divine pedagogy, yes.
I really like that. It's not a hands-off approach. It's like the difference between a contractor who builds a house and hands over the keys and a parent who builds the house but then stays to raise and guide and educate the child inside it.
An excellent analogy. Rab is the active tender of existence. And he tends to. Rabbil Alamin. The Lord of the worlds.
Of the world, plural.
Plural. And that phrase instantly expands our mind, ensuring we understand the message isn't just localized or tribal. Al-Rahman encompasses all known and unknown dimensions. Galaxies, atoms, the seen and the unseen. It's a massive call to cosmic consciousness.
Right, moving us away from thinking only about our own immediate, hyper-individualized concerns.
Exactly.
So we've established this incredible picture of infinite, nurturing mercy and ongoing guidance. But then the text hits us with a critical counterweight in verse 4. Maliki Yevmin Din.
And this is the essential balancing act. If you only emphasize Rahman, that infinite mercy, you risk moral complacency or slackness. The introduction of Maliki Yevmin Din, Master of the Day of Judgment, is the reality check.
It makes sure that absolute justice stays part of the cosmic order.
Yes, it has to.
What does the term din specifically convey here?
Din carries this heavy weight of recompense, of debt, and accountability. It's the day when all temporary human ownerships, titles, and false authorities just cease to exist. The ultimate Malik, the owner and ruler, takes sole authority.
I can see how that functions as a profound source of psychological security for someone who feels powerless in the world.
Absolutely. For the oppressed, the marginalized, or anyone facing deep unfairness, this verse provides a certain comfort, the unwavering guarantee of final justice.
And on the flip side?
On the flip side, it's the ultimate warning for those in power who exploit or oppress. It instills what the sources call sorumluluk bilinci, responsibility consciousness.
Responsibility consciousness.
The knowledge that actions have consequences, whether they're immediate or deferred, is what keeps the conscience alive and actively engaged in moral fairness.
So the first 4 verses establish this cosmic context, benevolent, nurturing, yet absolutely just. We have been observing the Creator in the third person. He is merciful, he is the Lord. But in the 5th verse, there's a dramatic, immediate turn.
This is the zenith of the surahs. It's the great pivot point. The pronouns shift just abruptly from he to direct address, you.
Wow.
The theoretical, observed knowledge of God is suddenly transformed into a personal, bilateral atad, a covenant, a sworn statement between the individual and the absolute.
And that statement is, Iyake nabudu ve'iyake nestan. Only to you we worship, and only from you we seek help. This is often called the Declaration of Purpose. But I have to ask, our sources call this the ultimate freedom manifesto. How can declaring total dependence on an absolute power be an act of liberation?
That is the perfect question, and it gets right to the heart of the structure. Look at the first half, Iyake nabudu. Linguistically, the word iyaki, meaning only to you, is intentionally placed first.
And in Arabic, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It forces an extreme restriction and emphasis.
Okay, so what are we restricting?
We are restricting our allegiance, our servitude. It's a declaration of tawhid, the singleness of focus, which rejects all lesser, temporary, and often contradictory powers.
What the sources call modern idols.
Modern idols, or sate el-laler, yes. Think about what vies for our submission today. The frantic pursuit of money, the ego's need for social media validation, the demands of extreme political ideologies, or just the dictates of fleeting cultural trends.
We submit to these lesser authorities daily, sacrificing our peace and our time.
Exactly. True slavery is being pulled in 1,000 different directions by these small, temporary masters. True freedom is found only when you submit your life, your time, and your energy to the absolute power, the one source that is immutable, just, and benevolent.
So by choosing submission to the absolute, you're automatically freed from submission to all the chaotic lesser powers of the world. That is liberation.
That's liberation.
And I noticed the commitment here isn't just personal, it's collective. It says, we worship, nabudu, not I worship.
That's vital. It instantly establishes the umit bilinci, the collective consciousness, challenging the isolating, competitive nature of modern hyper-individualism. Your spiritual life isn't a solitary endeavor. It connects you to a universal chorus of beings making the same commitment.
But that commitment, however strong, it isn't enough on its own, is it? It's immediately followed by the request for aid. Ve'iyake nestain.
And only from you we seek help. Yes, this pairing is the psychological masterpiece of the surah. It's designed to inoculate the believer against the 2 great spiritual diseases.
Okay, what are they?
First, you declare your effort and your responsibility, that's nabudu, the human will and striving, but you immediately follow it up by admitting your absolute dependence on divine aid, that's nestain, trust and reliance.
So what are the 2 diseases this balance prevents?
The first is kibir, or arrogance. This is that temptation to stand back after a success and declare, I did it all myself, my talent, my effort, my genius.
Right. And the second?
The second is adalet, or passivity. This is the learned helplessness that says, why bother trying? God will take care of it.
So the verses together encapsulate the principle. Effort is ours, success and ability. The tefik is from God.
That's the foundation of healthy tevekkul. Trust in God after you've exerted your utmost effort. It forces you to remain active while cultivating humility. It keeps your hands busy, but your heart open to guidance.
Once this covenant is made, once we declare our purpose and our reliance, what is the single most important request that follows? Given the focus on the ideal human profile, it can't be something material, like wealth.
Absolutely not. The most essential petition is not material, it's directional. Ihdina Surat al-Mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path. The covenant is followed by a cry for hidayah, for guidance.
And our sources underscore that in the modern age of information overload, direction is more valuable than data. This request becomes paramount.
It's everything.
So let's define the path itself. Surat al-Mustaqim. What does the word Mustaqim add here?
Well, Surat is the main wide highway, not some side street. Mustaqim means straight, upright, and perfectly balanced. This path is characterized by istiqamat, which is radical balance, free from the two ideological ditches that swallow societies and individuals.
The two ditches being the extremes.
Yes. On one side, you have ifrat, excess, fanaticism, dogmatic stagnation, zealotry. This is the path of those so concerned with adherence that they lose all compassion and flexibility.
In a modern sense, that could be like dogmatic echo chambers or burnout from extreme self-denial.
That's a great example. And on the other side...
The other side is too free.
Too free. Neglect, slackness, nihilism, moral indifference. This is the path of those who are so flexible that they lack any foundation or discipline. Modern examples would be pure hedonism, escapism through addiction, or learned helplessness.
So the straight path is the golden mean, the path that's most aligned with our essential human nature, our Fuchstat. That's incredibly relevant. But it begs the question, if we've found the path of balance, why do we have to keep asking for it?
Precisely. It's a daily call for guidance because staying on the path is just as critical as finding it. It guards against that tendency toward dogmatic stagnation. The path is dynamic, not static.
And finally, after asking for this abstract path, the last verse, verse 7, immediately makes the abstract concrete. It gives us a historical map.
Yes, the path is known by its travelers.
We see the path of Surat al-Azin and Amte al-Rahim, those who received favor. These are the positive, reliable role models. The prophets, the truthful, the righteous.
They provide tested, functional examples of how to achieve that state of istiqamat.
And then we get the two negative archetypes. They serve as clear hazard signs. Let's look at the first. Al-Mastubi alayhim, those who incurred wrath.
This archetype represents the failure of the head-knowing disobedience. These are the individuals who knew the truth, who had the knowledge, but because of kibir, pride, ego, or envy, they rejected it. They acted contrary to what they knew was right.
Their tragedy is the deliberate turning of knowledge into arrogance and active rebellion.
They saw the map and chose the cliff face anyway.
Wow. What about the second group?
That's Ed Dolan. Those who went astray, the confused. This archetype represents the failure of the heart, unchecked by the head. They often have good intentions, maybe sincere zealotry, but they lost their way due to ignorance or extremism. Ashriya, get me.
So their tragedy is that all this high energy and good faith wasn't disciplined by knowledge and balance.
Pushing them far into ifrat or tifrit, exactly.
Before we synthesize this, I'm really struck by a linguistic detail the sources point out, which they call ilahi, adept divine etiquette. It seems to tie the whole surah back to that balance of mercy and justice we started with.
It's a marvelous subtlety. Notice the grammar. When referring to grace, the text uses an active verb attributed directly to God, an emth. You bestowed favor.
Okay.
But when referring to wrath, the text uses a passive structure, mazdub, angered upon.
So grace is an active gift from the divine essence, but wrath is a consequence, something passively incurred by human action.
Exactly. Grace is given, wrath is earned. It beautifully implies that the ultimate default position of the universe is favor, but it takes deliberate human action and free choice to leave that state and incur a consequence.
That single grammatical choice, it encapsulates the entire journey of the wisdom seeker, the Hikmet Arayjiza. We move from cosmic wonder and fundamental trust in the universal love of the Rahman to a personal declaration of purpose, and finally, a constant prayer for informed direction.
The Fatiha truly is an Egbadut Pusala, an eternal compass, and it provides deep psychological security for the modern world. By balancing boundless hope Brahman with necessary responsibility, Dinganu, it grounds our ultimate control and our ultimate trust in the right places.
A clear antidote to the meaning crisis and rampant anxiety.
It really is.
And as we close this deep dive, let's leave you with the final provocative thought our sources suggest. Built on this observation that the prayer requires constant renewal. Surah Al-Mustaqim is the ultimate straight path of balance, and yet we are commanded to ask for it repeatedly, at least 17 times daily in our obligatory prayers. Does this suggest that the path itself is not a fixed line you find once, but rather a dynamic state of being that requires our continuous conscious effort to find and recalibrate every single day? What area of your life right now requires you to consciously reset your spiritual compass? The direction is yours to seek.